the next form that we need to fill out is the Trail Administrator's Authorization Form. What this form says is that this trail administrator was appointed or elected. In our club, we elect our trail administrator and trail master. Was elected or appointed to be the grant aid administrator. And since you can't vouch for yourself, you need to have someone in the club, one of the club officers, vouch that this was done. So you got your club name here, and then we've got the club president vouching that Steve Smith was appointed trail administrator. And then you got to have Steve Smith signing. You need his address, his phone number, and his email address. So this form needs to go in with your grant. Okay. So the other thing that they want to see with this grant is a copy of your club map with the work areas laid out on it. So like I told you before, we don't actually have our own club map. So I used the state map, superimposed the logo here, and then I put in this label that says P1 Northern Section, P1 Southern Section. So this is where the two areas are that we're working on this trail. And P1 is my project number. If I had another project happening this year, then I would need to put another label on here with P2 pointing to that area where the work is being done. And then I decided to include a more detailed copy of our project map. And you'll recognize this. This was the very first project that we did when we created a summary of our project to kind of discuss it with the club and discuss it with landowners. So all I did was take a copy of that map. I retitled it, put Project P1 in the title, and then put P1 in my labels here. And so, this just allows them to get a little more detail where the culvert's being replaced, where we're doing the work along this trail. Okay, the other thing, this is optional, but they like when you include this stuff because it kind of shows that you're actually doing what you promised in the application. At one of the boxes that gets checked off in that application is that you're filing for the proper permits for these projects. So in this case, we did a New Hampshire Natural Heritage Bureau data check. So I'm attaching a copy of my results letter, which shows the two project areas. And I'm also attaching a copy of a Trails SPN form, which is our DES permit. The DES permit, we've been through this before. You got to answer all these questions, but you also need to put in the NHB number of the National Heritage Bureau report that you pulled for this project. So my description, I was able again to use the description that we came up with previously for the NHB report, maybe enhanced on that just a little bit. I got to put the property owner information in here. And then the last page of the DES form, you need to initial these 5 boxes and you need to get it signed by the landowner. And then you need to send this in along with your topographic map. And we talked about, how to create one of those before. So you got to send that in with your topographic map and a check for $25. And now this form is filed. So what I'm doing here is I'm including this optional information to let the Trails Bureau know that, I'm on top of it. I'm sending in the right forms, and they actually will put this in a file under their filing system. And if for any reason during this project they get a call saying, hey, we see an excavator out on this trail, it allows them to look up the information and say, yep, we know about that. There's a, we have a form on file that we know about this project. Your homework assignment is to fill out a GIA grant application and create all the required attachments. Basically, I've got all the steps here, how to create your folder tree, how to split the grant application if you want to, do multiple projects or have multiple landowner mission forms that you got to include, and so on. So I've got a complete set of instructions here for you. You should have already received an email stating that the homework's been assigned. So that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions?
I have one question on the NHB data check.
Yeah.
If you have a large area, like the entire trail,
Yep.
do you have to do your data check as one, like the entire trail, or do you want to do it as like each individual property owner?
Yeah, you have to do it under each individual property owner.
Okay. Is there a way to try and, is it kind of just like an educated guess of where the property lines are as far as like the map system in the NHB? Like when you're clicking on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
do they fault you if you don't click, like if you leave a section out?
I don't think they'd know. And what I generally do in that situation is I'll use the Granite View, and I'll have that up on one screen so that I kind of know where, things change from one property owner to the other. And
Okay.
then, on my other screen, I'll have the NHB tool, and I'll be looking at the aerial map on Granite View, comparing it to the aerial map on NHB, so that I can get as close as possible to that boundary
That's
line.
pretty much how I went about it. And I was like, I don't know if this is right because I don't know if it needs to be like.
It doesn't have to be exact.
Okay.
If you're worried at all you need to do, you could go over into the other landowner a little bit, kind of overlap the landowners,
Okay.
where they meet. And then
That's
you
what I did.
And then you'll be 100% sure that you've covered all the bases with, with NHB.
Yeah,
But
I just wanted to make sure that I did it correctly because I was like, this seems like it should be a little bit easier, but it wasn't. So
yeah, it would be nice if NHB had the ability to have like push pins, and then you could have an exact GPS push pin that you could, put in so exactly where the property line is. But
right.
it's always been a guessing game.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was accurate because I was like, I did that yesterday and I was like, this doesn't seem right, but
no, you did exactly right.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Well, thank you very much. Have a good
You're
night.
welcome. Okay, you too. See you later.